project. I didn't film it from the beginning because I figured it was going to be a practice project that since I hadn't turned so much, I would be getting back into the swing of things. Well, there's a lot of holes in it, and I decided to use a combination of CA glue, which I've still got a lot to fill here. I'm going to get some stuff out and fill it in a minute here. And I've got some problems with the bottom of it here. I'm not sure what to do with that. And then I had this big void here. I decided to put resin in. Well, when I was finished pouring the resin, I took the rest of it and I filled some small little molds up that were kind of cute. So there's a bunch of dinosaurs. Here's one of the dinosaurs here. And so I took them and I filled them up. The problem is when I took all the dinosaurs out of the molds, some of them were really hard, some of them were very squishy. This is now 3-week-old resin and it retains its shape, but it's rubber. It is not hard. So my concern is what's inside this. So I took the project off the lathe, did a couple others, and decided, well, I've got to start. It'll fit on the lathe, so I might as well go ahead and try and finish it. So the things I've got to contend with are what don't have a lot of turning to do on the outside, but what's going to be on the inside? Is it going to be hard or is it going to be soft? Don't know. It's got to finish filling these out, and I've got to contend with the bottom of this thing and deal with that. Fill the rest of these holes up. This is a piece of mesquite, and finish up the bottom, fill some of the holes, smooth it all out, see what it's going to look like. But I thought, all right, I'll take y'all along for the ride so we can see what's on the inside. Another thing I had done, and I quit, the other thing that may be a problem in here is I was using a UV resin, but I was also putting in mica powders. Since then, I've learned that that's probably not the best option because then the light doesn't go through the resin really well and doesn't let it harden up. So who knows what we're going to find when we get into this thing. But we're going to try and see what we can accomplish. And hopefully it will go smoothly. All right, we're sanding it up to 400. We're going to do some Axe sanding paste and then the polishing compound afterwards. That'll be the next step. I still have several cracks in here. They're very deep. They don't want to fill with super glue. So I may deal with it once I hollow it out, and I may just leave it. If this bigger hole here sticks and it's not rubber on the inside, then I'll probably just leave the other cracks the way they are. Maybe I'll fill them. I don't know. Let's have to wait and see that. But let's get to putting the paste on here. So a bit of an update on this. The hollowing is done. The problem I ran into after I finished the hollowing was right here. But that's semi-okay. This one here, it's worse on the inside. There's actually a crack all the way through here. This whole thing was loose. I don't know how I turned it without it coming out, but I did. I got it turned without it coming out. And so I've had to stop, and I've gone in. I taped this on the outside, and from the inside filled it up with CA glue, and then came back and did this. So I'm gonna have to refinish the outside and refinish the inside and finish the inside. I just started sanding the inside when I realized it was very, very wobbly in here. It was actually, you could move this around, and it's not very thick. I'll move this around so you can see that it's not very thick. Of course, you should have seen most of that when I was turning it. It's pretty much, that's it inside and out. You can see where I came in through the inside and filled all those holes in. So now I'm going to use my negative rake on the inside, and I think I'm just going to re-sand the outside in hopes, since it already had a finish on it, it won't bleed as much, the negative rake on the inside, because I think I've got a little bit of bleed out. I don't have a whole lot of room to play with those, so I got to be very careful. I may or may not film that, but I had to fill the holes. I didn't have a choice because it would have never stayed together. It would have, as it dried out a little more, which is pretty dry wood. I've had it for over 1.5 years now, and it was dry when I got it. But we'll have to see how it goes to clean up the inside a little bit. It's hollowed out and sanded up to 400. I know I only have to go to 320, but I've always gone to 400. Gonna put some Axe abrasive paste on it and then some polishing wax after that. Then I'll do my normal Howard's feed and wax at the end of that. It's turned out pretty nice. I did have to go back, like I said, and fill these cracks with CA because this was just really loose on both ends. But it finished out really nice, and we'll get started getting a finish on it. Here it is. This is a piece of mesquite. Finished on the bottom. Turn that the right way. It's got some worm damage here. Had some on the inside. Had lots of cracking on it. A lot more than it did when I started on it. I think it was still drying out, even though I've had this for quite a while. Tiny little piece of resin in there. Actually doesn't show through on the inside, so who knows what it's like underneath there, but it is hard. I was worried about that. Finished up nicely. I appreciate everybody coming by and watching. I hope you will subscribe and that you will share the video and like it and leave a comment. I'll reply to all comments. Thank you for your time. Till then, keep turning.